I realized that I was playing Minecraft in survival mode and my government was playing Minecraft in creative mode. Me and my government were in the same seed, and I was working my butt off to put a shelter over my head and get enough material for my chest, and the government was flying around making, like, you know, 99 diamond, full diamond enchantment, just be like, whoop, doing whatever, just immediate, electrum wings immediately, everything. Welcome to Sat Chats, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. With Sat Chats, we are building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center to serve as your gateway to generational wealth. So if you're brand new to Bitcoin, like my nephew over here, we want to chat about sats with you. Head to satchats.com to grab your slot in the studio today. I'm going to be your host, Stewart Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my Bitcoin laser eyes.
I am Lydia Pelto. I am your co-host. I am the founder and CEO of Peach Slurp and the Longinian Creative Director. If you have subscribed within the first 100,000, you will be gaining, and if we draw you, obviously, you will be getting 10 million sats.
10
also,
million.
You're on the road to number 99, Kristen Pelto, my mother.
All right, so smash that subscribe button the same way Lion smashes around the house when he's upset because he's not getting something that he wants.
I don't smash by Bitcoin, unfortunately. I don't have enough money.
And you'll get your chance for 10 million sats. So we have got my nephew, aka Lion's cousin, in the studio here today. This is y'all probably are fresh from watching. Now this is Jonny. Okay, you're probably fresh from watching Johnny's mom absolutely tell us that Bitcoin is fake Mario money, and then take the $50 and spend it immediately on tacos. Okay,
a lot of tacos, like 25 tacos.
It could be that Auntie Lyd is just lost and there's nothing we can do for her, but we got very close, Lion. We need to give ourselves some credit. We got very close, and your Daniel Tiger angle was outstanding. But we're also just going to turn our eyes to the next generation, okay?
Let's see.
Because your mom might be forever lost, even though your dad has some daggum Bitcoin, by the way. That one blew my mind. Mm-hmm. We're going to focus on Jonny because Jonny is now graduated high school, about to go to NC State.
Let's see if taking the fiat runs in the family.
Oh, stay tuned and watch all the way to the end of today's episode to see if fiat runs in the family.
That needs to be the episode title. Does fiat run in the family?
Does fiat run in the family?
That needs to be the episode title.
So we're going to see if we can help Jonny discover the greatest money of all time before he goes to university, before he graduates and starts a career, before he starts earning money. So, Jonny, before we dive into today's conversation, help our satillionaires out there get to know you a little bit. Who is Jonny Boy?
I'm Jonny Benet. I'm wearing non-prescription sunglasses. I graduated high school probably half a month ago. I have two little sisters. My mom was on the show earlier. I have my dad. Owns Bitcoin. Going to North Carolina State University in sports management major.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Sports management.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
Spare time? I'm actually starting up jiu-jitsu. I wrestled in high school. State championship. We won it first ever in school history. Won a state championship. But
dab him up, y'all. Yeah. Boom.
But now I'm taking my skills to jiu-jitsu, so that'll be cool.
So that's a little bit about Jonny Boy, okay? And now we want to know, how much do you know about Bitcoin?
How much do I know about Bitcoin? I know it's like kind of like an online currency. Mm-hmm. I know that you have to like mine it to obtain or to like get it out, I guess. Yeah. I don't really know. I don't really fully understand that part. I know it can be used in a lot of countries now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the future of money, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So we like that. Are we going to, yeah, claps. Yeah. So much better than your mom telling us it was fake money coins.
Yeah.
Golly,
Okay, here's
dude.
my question. Do you think Bitcoin is going to help you escape debt into your mom?
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
That is a vital question.
Johnny's mom is the Fiat Overlord. So, okay. So I really liked that. It's online money. It is mined, and it's the money of the future. Let's go.
What has kept you from buying Bitcoin?
I don't know. I'm not a big spender, so I definitely could invest. I don't know. I just never thought about it.
So you are not a spender.
No.
Okay. So you like to save.
Yeah.
Okay. Your mom likes to save as well, by the way,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. What if I told you that Bitcoin was the greatest savings technology?
I'm interested.
Okay. Now.
That's good. You got farther than your mom.
It's only been 10 minutes.
Yeah. In like the first 2 minutes, your mom was like, I'm just going to take the cash and buy some Chubby's tacos.
We actually opened her episode with her declaring she was going to take the cash and buy tacos with it. And we tried so hard to overturn that. But forget her episode because we got a live one here, Lie Guy. And this guy, he's open-minded. So, Lion, can you explain in your own words why Bitcoin is the greatest savings technology? And then I'll explain in my own words.
Because fiat can be phantom taxed.
Because fiat can be phantom taxed. Okay, first of all, Johnny, do you know what it means to be phantom taxed? Yes, he does. Satillionaires, do you know what it means to be phantom taxed? What does it mean to be phantom taxed?
It means when someone takes your food with no, they're just like, they just run up and they just grab your food and they're just like, bye. Johnny, have you ever phantom taxed anyone?
Of course. All the time.
Okay. So the government taxes you. But that's not what we mean by phantom tax.
No.
Because everybody knows the government taxes you. You got to pay your taxes, right? Mm-hmm. But on top of the tax that you pay when you make money or when you spend money, which, by the way, bro, you're going to tax me twice. Give me a break. That's so lame. But on top of that tax, there's a phantom tax. And what is this phantom tax, Lion?
The government may be printing money, and that means they're phantom taxing your spending power, and that's not okay.
The government be printing money. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, are you, okay, so thank you, Lion. Bitcoin, in case y'all missed it, Bitcoin is the greatest savings technology because it can't be phantom taxed.
Johnny, your mom's going to listen to this episode, and she's just going to be like, I missed out so much.
Yeah. So, in my own words, here's what I'll say. So when I was your age, I wasn't really thinking about money at all. I was mostly thinking about like video games and girls. And I went through university. I got out on the other side and I started a career, right? And I was making like $35,000 a year, okay, back in 2010. And your auntie Kristen was, making about the same, right? And we lived our lives, and we had a budget, but it was kind of tight, And then I found a way. It's like I need to earn more money, And so I like got like a promotion, and now I was making like $44,000. I'm like, okay, sweet, we got some more money. And then I came back to Raleigh when Lion was born. I got a job that paid me $54,000. Then I got promotions in that all the way up to $74,000 a year. Then I started doing sales and, with my base salary and commission, I was making, $85,000 a year, and then making over $100,000 a year. And then getting up to where my base salary was like $150,000 a year. And I got paid commission for all my sales. So from my point of view, I was making more and more and more and more money. I was building a career. But what I didn't understand was that the government was printing money to pay off the spending that it was doing. So you and I have to operate on a budget because when we run out of money, there's no more there. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
When the government runs out of money, it prints more of its own money. It's like, it's like Robux inside Roblox, or what are the coins in Minecraft where you can buy stuff in the store? Mine coins.
But Dad, a more commonly known Minecraft coin is the emerald, which you trade with villagers for, and they're
okay.
And villagers don't inflate.
Yeah.
They just kind of they just don't have good trades.
Yeah, so it's almost like you're working your butt off in Minecraft to get emeralds and diamonds and other really important material, but somebody's inside with a cheat code and they can just give them, like, okay, here it is. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I have an epiphany.
Okay.
You're working super hard, and emeralds are really rare. You have to go up to the top of the mountain and mine them, and you only get one emerald. And by the time you have 5 emeralds, you're like, I'm going to go to the village. And the villager's like, I'm going to give you 1 piece of coral. And then, because when you place the coral, then it's dead coral. And it's like,
here's my epiphany. I realized that I was playing Minecraft in survival mode, and my government was playing Minecraft in creative mode.
Oh, that's better.
But we were in the same. Me and my government were in the same seed, and I was working my butt off to put a shelter over my head and get enough material for my chest, and the government was flying around making 99 diamond, full diamond enchantment, just be like, whoop, doing whatever, just immediate electrum wings immediately, everything, dude.
When me and Kitty steal from your chest, you're just like,
yeah. But the government was trying to tell me it was also in survival mode, but it's not. It's in creative mode.
We need to make a Bitcoin meme where it shows the 2 hoods. One is the survival hood and one is the creative mode, and it's just like POV government.
Yes,
person.
Exactly. So, and here's the thing, man. You're working a little bit, and you're going to go to university. You're going to have a great time. I mean, I'm assuming that your mom and dad are going to pay for your college, correct? Or is the Fiat Overlord going to put you even deeper into debt, bro?
Auntie Lydia's like, I make them pay half of big things. She's like, I'm going to pay for half your tuition, but you're going to have to pay me back, and you're going to have to pay for half your tuition.
Yeah, what's that situation? Are you going to get financial aid, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So before you enter, you're going to have a great time at university. What I want for you as your uncle is for you to get out into the world and start your career on the best possible footing for yourself. Because I spent over a baker's dozen years earning in a form of money that doesn't do a good job of storing its value. I was earning and saving in a form of money that's basically like a melting ice cube. Or to put it another way, I was in survival mode and the government is in creative mode, right? So you might have seen this with your dad, okay, where he wants to find ways for your money to make more money, right? So he has actually bought some Bitcoin because he believes in it. He's bought more XRP than that.
He just believes Bitcoin in the wrong way.
Well, he thinks XRP is even better than Bitcoin.
No, he believes Bitcoin is an investment, not a currency.
Right. Yeah, Bitcoin is money. And that's what we want Johnny to understand too. Bitcoin is money. So, about stocks. I mean, when you think about investments, talk to me about which investments you think of.
Investments?
Yeah.
I don't know, like stocks, like Wall Street, like investing.
Yeah.
Like into a company.
But you're a saver, not an investor.
Yeah.
Right. So for you, Bitcoin could be a perfect savings vehicle because all you have to do is exchange your dollars for Bitcoin. Because with Bitcoin, there's only survival mode. There's no creative mode in Bitcoin.
And Bitcoin is the greatest savings. It's the greatest savings thing.
But let's talk about why. When you try to save in dollars, okay? Let's do some really easy math, Johnny. Let's imagine there are $100 available in the whole world, and you have 10 of them, and you set them aside as savings, right?
Mhm.
How much of that money network do you own? What percentage? If you have 10 and there's 100 total.
I don't know, 10.
NC State alert. NC State alert. 10%, right? You own 10% of that network. If there's 100 total dollars and you've saved 10, then you controlled 10% of that dollar network, right?
Mhm.
Now the government says, LOL, I'm in creative mode. I'm going to print 100 more dollars because I can't live on a budget and I need to make up for the actions I've taken. So now there's 200 total dollars in that money network. You still have 10 saved. So what percentage of the money network do you have now?
Half of that.
Half of that, which is
5%.
5%.
So although you still have $10, you can purchase less. That's what like Auntie Lydia was like.
She couldn't get there. So even though you have the same amount of money in your savings account, now you can buy only half as much stuff in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So is the dollar a great option for you when you're trying to save? I would say no.
Tisk, it's not. It's
Because
not.
it's not clear to you when the government is going to print more of this thing that you're trying to use, right? Now, let's look at Bitcoin. Let's say that there is only 100 Bitcoin ever, and you have 10, and you save 10 Bitcoin. You've got how much of that money network?
10%.
10%. Well, guess what? There will never be more than 100 Bitcoin. So your share of the network is
10.
10%. No matter what, your share will never go down, which means you'll always be able to buy the same amount of stuff.
In this case, it's 21 million Bitcoin.
Yes.
But
so for the purposes of that illustration, we simplified it. But with Bitcoin, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. And that is an arbitrary number that the creator chose because once you choose a big enough number, it doesn't actually matter what the number is so long as it never changes. He wanted Bitcoin to be different from dollars in that the amount of Bitcoin there is clear and it never changes.
Can I quote Satoshi for a second?
Sure.
If you don't believe in it or don't get it, I don't have the time to try to convince you. Sorry. We should have said that to Aunt Lydia.
No, because we're the welcome center. Even though Satoshi got tired of trying to show people what he had created, we are not tired. So with Bitcoin, you can know for a fact how much there is and that there will never be more than that. How many US dollars are there? Even the government doesn't know. They used to track it until it got so out of hand, they declared it would cost too much money to calculate how much money there is. So how can you rely on a dollar if you don't know when they're going to make a whole bunch more of it, right? I mean, think about when something is scarce and then all of a sudden there's a ton of it. Like is it as valuable anymore?
Like the limestone.
No.
Like the limestone. It's not, right? So when you're in survival mode and you find 6 diamonds, that's pretty valuable. But when you're in creative mode and you just put like 6 stacks of 64, you didn't work for it. You didn't earn it. It's not that valuable, is it?
Like there was this guy, they were like these people who like their currency was limestone. They had to like go and sail and they had to mine the limestone. But then this guy came with a bunch of dynamite and blew up all the limestone. And he was like, "This is my limestone."
Yes. So Lion's talking about a culture in the Southeast Asian island space, and they used limestone for money. But it was very difficult for them to get because they had to canoe across open ocean to a quarry, use their blood, sweat, and tears to break off a chunk of it, and then very precariously bring that chunk back on their small canoe across open water to get it home. And that's how they traded, is they would just say, look, this big fat stone in the center of the town, this is Johnny's. But then you would buy a house from me and you would say, everybody, I'm giving this stone to my Uncle Stewart. And then everybody would know that it's mine. But then this Irishman showed up and realized he could just take dynamite to the limestone quarry, explode it, and then bring so much limestone to that culture on the island that they gave him all their stuff. And he basically took all their coconuts and all their resources in exchange for a form of money that became worthless because he could make as much of it as he wanted very easily. So Bitcoin is a great savings technology because they're not making more of it. The dollar is not a great savings technology because they're making a ton of it. Think about gold as well, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
You know gold is valuable, right?
Yeah.
Why is it valuable?
It's rare.
It's rare. It's so rare that they're only finding 2 or 3% more each year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you took your dollars and turn it into gold, you could rely on that gold to keep its value. And actually, the value of the gold goes up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just not as much as Bitcoin.
Now, why does the value of the gold go up?
Less, like, not as much is found, and it gets used, and I don't know.
Well,
it builds wealth.
It's rare, and it's useful. So it is becoming more valuable over time, but it also goes up in value because you're measuring it in dollar terms. And they're printing so much more money that you just need more money to chase the same amount of gold, right? So gold is going up because it's rare and because they're printing so many dollars that they're like, well, these things are kind of worthless. So if I'm going to give you some of this gold that's truly rare, you kind of got to give me like a wheelbarrow full of this stuff. The same is true for Bitcoin. It's so rare that it's actually the only thing that there's a finite supply of in all of existence.
Well, because I think gold can be like I think there's a way to make gold like naturally. I think gold can be like naturally. I think it's like appears in stone. I think like with the rock cycle.
No, gold is formed in the heart of a dying star.
Oh.
And then it explodes out across the universe in a supernova. And then it has to be a part of your planet. Then life has to form on that planet. Then they got to find where the gold is. So gold is pretty freaking sweet.
Like the Romans, they did this thing where you'd buy something and they do clip just the smallest little bit off, and then they melt the bits down and they make new coins. And I think it was ancient Rome, but like then their economy
Yeah, Lion's making a good point. A lot of people feel like, hey, the dollar, they're printing it, so we should get over to gold. But even when they had gold coins, the rulers would they would tax the gold coin. They would clip the tiniest bit off and put it back into circulation. And then all the clippings, they would melt down and make more coins. They would basically print gold. But with Bitcoin, it's online. It's not something that you can change. It's available for everybody to see. There's only ever going to be 21 million. Either you have it or you don't. You can't fake it. You can't inflate it. Nothing. It's just like a digital credit. And it's the money of the future, man. It's the money of the future. And it's great money because you can't make more of it. So whatever you have of it is not only going to hold its value, but actually it's going to buy you more and more and more. Mm-hmm. And here's why. Number one, the amount of dollars you need to buy Bitcoin is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because since the dollar is going to get more and more worthless, Bitcoin is going to get more and more worthy. Mm-hmm. But Bitcoin doesn't even need the dollar to operate, Johnny. If I have Bitcoin and you have lawn mowing services and you mow my lawn and I pay you in Bitcoin, then we're done. And we never had to touch the US dollar. And then later on, if you have Bitcoin and I have, car repair services, you can pay me with that Bitcoin.
So how do you exchange Bitcoin?
Exchange it for dollars?
No.
Or exchange it between people?
Between people.
Phones. Just doop. Like that.
We can Venmo Bitcoin now too. So like if you choose the sats, you can just okay, I'm going to Venmo you the sats.
Yes. So basically you just send them digitally. All right. So you'll have an account on your phone. And have you ever used Venmo or PayPal?
Yeah, of course.
Same thing, dude. Same thing. Only instead of sending digital dollars that are being printed into infinity, you're sending digital Bitcoin that isn't. And that means that today you might, that means that today $50 worth of Bitcoin is like 50,000 sats.
Mm-hmm.
But later $50 worth of Bitcoin will be 5,000 sats, and then 500 sats. And then eventually 1 sat will be worth $1.
And that will be nice.
Yeah, because you'll realize that one podcast with your uncle means that you earned $50,000. And you're going to be like, holy moly, right?
One day much later.
Yeah. So if I have a limited supply of something and it can be used to buy the world's things, then as the world makes more things, I'll be able to buy more of the world's things with this limited supply. But if your supply is like, then you're going to need a whole lot more of it. So that's why we feel like Bitcoin is going to be an incredible savings technology, because it's you can exchange your dollars for Bitcoin, and then you can count on having the same share of the network that you had when you first saved it.
Except if you buy more.
And what happens if you buy more?
Then you get a bigger share.
Then you get a bigger share, yeah. Now, there's 21 million Bitcoin. There's 8 billion people on Earth. If you divide one by the other, then everyone's fair share is 250,000 Satoshis. You might have heard me say this at the beginning of the show. A sat is the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. But instead of there being 100 pennies to the dollar, there's 100 million Satoshis in each Bitcoin. 250,000 Satoshis is your fair share of the world's future money. Imagine we go into a world where there's flying cars and laser guns and teleportation, and you're walking around as a grown man my age, and you're like, hey, I'd like to teleport. Can I hand you these slips of paper? They're gonna be like, oh, what? Like, you might as well be trying to hand me seashells or wampum, or glass beads. Like, this is some old money. Does anybody even take this dumb stuff anymore? No, we only accept Bitcoin. It's the digital unit. It's the intergalactic credit, Satoshi invented the money of the future, and we're on the show. We're trying to help people understand that something major has happened, right? Mm-hmm. Now, your dad looks at Bitcoin going up over time in dollar terms and says, oh, this is an investment. But we're here to tell you that Bitcoin is money. Mm-hmm. And it's accepted at 800,000 merchants worldwide. So you can, and for example, at the Bitcoin conference, they made over 4,000 transactions in a single day, all on Bitcoin. So once you accept that you're inside the Bitcoin network and you're just going to exchange Bitcoin back and forth, once you say, okay, this is my money, then you can use it just like money. You can save money, you can spend money, you can invest money. But before you join the ranks of the, worker bees who have their careers, while you're still here in your university career, make sure you're picking the right money, right? Because up here, people are like, hey, stocks, bonds, real estate, crypto, right? I'm down here and I'm saying, look, come to the video game character selection screen. You have 3 choices for money. One of them is paper, aka the US dollar. One of them is metal, aka gold. And one of them is Bitcoin. We're not in control of this, and they can make as much as they want. Gold, we all know what gold is, but then Bitcoin is this online money of the future. And it used to be worth $1. One Bitcoin used to be worth $1. Then it was worth 10,
That's crazy.
100, 1,000, 10,000, and now it's worth $103,613. You're seeing the future of money start to eat the old world. It's eating all the old forms of money. And if you can get some now, and by the way, 50,000 sats is 20% of the way toward your 250,000 sat goal, right? Of having your fair share of the network. For $250, you can have 250,000 sats. And you could stop there and say, all right, 2 decades from now, I'm going to be rich, right? But if you spend $250 more and get 500,000 sats, now you've got twice your fair share. If you become a satillionaire, like some of the guys watching our show, you'll have 1 million sats. You'll have 4 times. What do you think is the fair share of money in today's world, for a grown-up to have? $250,000? Net worth of $250,000? Imagine having 4 times that. If you had $1 million, you'd feel great. All right, let me stop there. Because that's a lot of me and Lion talking. How do you feel about Bitcoin so far?
I definitely like that it's like a reliable source. Like how much it's gonna be costing worth. Cause like even with like money, like if the value goes down, like I feel like if we like eventually switch to Bitcoin, the prices of stuff should stay the same. Like, like how I'm talking about, like milk used to cost like 50 cents and now it's like $4 or $5.
Yes. And eggs too, Your auntie went to the store and 12 organic eggs were selling for $12.
I think part of it it's because like there's like a disease going around the chickens right now.
Yeah, but actually what's happening is everything's getting more expensive all the time because they're printing more money. Okay? So inflation is the worst, and that's what happens when your government is playing Minecraft in creative mode while the rest of us have to play Minecraft in survival mode. We got to dig down to, what's the y-axis 11 or something like that to get to the diamonds. They just go, whoop, I got a bunch.
Or like going up super high for the emeralds to trade with the villager, and they're like, yeah, we're going to give you something that's like, we're going to give you 5 pieces of dried kelp for 5 emeralds. Like,
bruh, 5 pieces of dried kelp for 5 emeralds, man. I'm getting ripped off.
Like, what do I need 5 pieces of dried kelp for?
So let's talk a little bit more about why Bitcoin is reliable, because I can tell you like the reliability of it. And then we'll wrap up the show, okay? Mm-hmm. So not only can you rely on Bitcoin because its supply is limited and will never change, but also you can rely on Bitcoin because everything it does is recorded publicly for everyone to see. So, what do I mean by that? Number one, Bitcoin is like a program or a protocol, and it's powered by software. It's powered by code. That code is open source, which means anybody in the world, including you, whether you know what you're looking at or not, can inspect every single line of code to determine whether you think Bitcoin is safe, secure, and operating as intended, okay? Now, I would like for you to go to Washington, D.C. and say, excuse me, federal government, can you please make every classified document that shows me the choices you're making for me and my sisters right now? You know what they would do?
Wouldn't do it.
They would point a gun at you. They'd be like, back up, sir. You know what I mean?
Show me every document that shows me that what you're doing is legal. Like, I don't think printing money is in the Constitution.
No.
Or accepting $100,000 planes when it's in the Constitution that presidents can't accept gifts like that.
Whoa. I don't know if that's in the Constitution, but to Lion's point, Bitcoin's source code is transparent. Mm-hmm. The federal government's is not. Okay. You also can rely on Bitcoin because it operates according to rules. Not only is its supply limited, but every 10 minutes, see all these yellow dots? These are transactions that are happening in Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, Lion was explaining to me earlier.
And they're piling up in this pool because they're waiting to be added to a block and have the block added to the chain. Okay. So every transaction, the source code is public. Every transaction is public and the rules are public. Mm-hmm. Every 10 minutes, a new block is added, period. 21 million is a supply, period. Anyone can buy it, right? Anyone can sell it. Anyone can transfer it. Everyone can do with Bitcoin what can be done with Bitcoin. So it's almost like,
except for create more of it.
right.
Just like in like Harry Potter, it's like the food is one of the 5 like things in like Gamp's element. You can't create food magic where you can move it to you. You can do a bunch of with it, but you can't make more of it.
Yeah, one of Bitcoin's rules is that there will only ever be 21 million. So when you as a saver save in US dollars, you're playing a game that has rules for you, but does not have rules for the person that makes that money. When you when you earn dollars and then exchange them into Bitcoin online, you're basically playing a game where everyone plays by the rules. The rules are clear for everyone. The rules do not change, and everyone must abide by them. If I want Bitcoin, I need to go work hard and either get paid in Bitcoin or get paid in my local currency and then go online and exchange that money.
Or mine Bitcoin.
Yeah, you can mine Bitcoin. If a corporation wants Bitcoin, they have to go buy it. If a federal government wants Bitcoin, they have to go buy it. So not a single person can create Bitcoin out of thin air, like they're playing in creative mode. Everyone is in survival mode with Bitcoin. And the people that start playing sooner are the ones that are going to have all the sweet structures when the noobs are coming in and they're just punching trees to try to get, their first tool in their inventory. Am I right?
Someone in the government has probably made a reskin of Minecraft, and they've reskinned something as Bitcoin. Someone has done that, and they're like incredible, and the government's just like, I can get stacks, and they're like, well,
yeah, I bet somebody in the government has done that.
Someone has done that.
So let me ask you this, Jonny. If we can help you get, if we can help you get set up with some of your very first Bitcoin, if we can help you stack your first sats, and then we can show you how to take whatever money you want to save and save it in Bitcoin as easily as you put it into a bank account, would you be open to Bitcoin as a savings technology? Maybe not your only savings technology, but would you be willing to try it out?
Yeah, of course.
Let's go. Okay. So let's recap the conversation with Jonny Boy. Then we'll try some hummus and then we'll make him an offer. Okay. All right. So we've got Jonny Boy here in the studio today, number 81, which I love that. That's a multiple of 9. Uki is number 18. So you guys have that kind of little 1881 action. Okay. Jonny graduated high school. He had a storied wrestling career and is now exploring jiu-jitsu. He's going to be going to NC State right here in Raleigh for sports management, which is really cool. Jonny likes to save money, but is Jonny saving in the right kind of money? Because Jonny is saving in a kind of money that he has to work for, but his government can print that money for free. So why is Jonny working for something his government can print for free? What is going on? Now, if Jonny can keep working for money that his government can print for free, but as soon as he gets it, boom, pops it over into Bitcoin, then it can be protected. It can be locked into place. And your fair share of the Bitcoin network can stay where it is.
And his Bitcoin will help him pay off his debt.
To his mom. Yes. So we talked about saving money. And we want you to save money, and I'm a saver. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm a Bitcoiner. We just want you to save in the right form of money.
For sure.
We don't want the money you're saving in to be spewing out of the federal government from every single door and window 24/7.
And Auntie Lydia isn't even if she chose Fiat, but she's not even gonna save it. It's gonna be gone. tonight
Mm-hmm.
in Chubby's.
So we
25
want you to
combo.
we want you to save in a form of money that isn't going anywhere, that's completely available for you and Spect, and that follows rules. And everybody who engages with Bitcoin has to follow those rules, right?
Right.
So it's Minecraft creative mode versus Minecraft survival mode. And when you're over here, you're getting absolutely wrecked because you're in survival mode, but they are in creative mode. And over here, we're all in survival mode. So let's have some hummus here. What do we have here,
This
Lion?
is Ithaca hummus jalapeno lime. It's gonna be very spicy.
Okay. Ithaca hummus jalapeno lime. Let's crack it open here. All right. Okay.
Oh,
So we've got that there. We've got some bagel chips here. I'm going to stir this up a little bit. So our founding sponsor here is Ithaca Hummus. Jalapeno lime is a great flavor. I'm going to stir that up. I'm going to get myself a fat
I
glob.
think it's gonna be spicy though.
And then we'll all crunch it into the mic together,
Oh.
ASMR style, okay?
Okay.
So let's let Lion get himself a little dip.
Fat glob, medium glob.
Tiny baby dip. Wow.
Little
Is there even anything on there?
No.
Oh my
there's a
God.
little bit of
All right, let's
hummus.
crunch it in the mic here. Cheers, boys.
Oh, that's good.
What are you picking up there? What's that tasting like?
Jalapeno lime.
It tastes like jalapeno lime. Have you ever had it before?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever had hummus before?
Yeah.
Do you eat a lot of hummus?
Yeah.
And what were you eating?
I don't know.
Was it store brand or Sabra?
Probably probably like Sabra or something.
Did it have as much flavor as this?
No.
No. Do you think that you're going to be rocking on Ithaca hummus
Of course.
for all your hummus needs in the future?
Of course.
Of course. And when you're on campus, you'll have to find where you can get it. Here in Raleigh, it's like everywhere. Whole Foods, Wegmans. But I think they're launching in like Costco. Is that spicing up your palate there, Lion? Lion can't handle no spice, man. But maybe, I think it's launching in Target and Costco. So maybe if there's like a Target on campus, you might be able to get some there.
Sweet.
Or just come by the studio and we'll hook you up, man. And actually, this tub is going to belong to you. So be able to take that home.
I had crazy faces for both hummuses.
All right, Lion. See, can you reach that? Stretch. Okay. So,
I can hold
yeah,
it.
you'll hold that. Here on Sat Chats, we believe in exchanging value for value. Okay. The federal government believes in exchanging your value for nothing because they just print it for free. But here we want to pay you for your time. All right. So we have got your choice. $50, 50 government tokens, right? 50 slips of nation state paper, or $50 worth of Bitcoin. And that means you're going to be getting 48,162 sats. $50 or 48,162.
Jen, didn't one of your guests?
What's it going to be, Johnny?
I'll take the Bitcoin.
Yes! High five. Oh, high five, Johnny. Yes, dude. Come on.
And the answer is
Oh.
Bitcoin, not Bitcoin. Fiat does not run in the family.
No, it doesn't.
Fiat does not run in the family. Yeah. Woo.
Go.
Let's go. So, Uncle John is a Bitcoiner, even though he's like massive XRP army. Now we've got Johnny, who is a Bitcoiner, and we need to get Taya and Gabby to be Bitcoiners so that your mom is completely boxed out, dude. We need to ice her out, Johnny.
Do you know what this looks like? It looks like Bitcoin runs in the family.
Looks like Bitcoin runs in the family. Let's go. And if you hang on to this, then this will exchange not for 50 but for 500. And if you keep hanging on to it, it will exchange not for 500 but 5,000. And then 50,000. Then 500,000. Then 5 million. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about if you hang on to this for like 5 decades, your face is going to melt off. All right.
Dad, we can Venmo that to him.
Well, we send Bitcoin directly to his wallet. So we don't go through Venmo. But we're really happy that you stacked 48,162 sats. Do you want to send anybody anywhere online to engage with you? Any social media, any of that juice, or do you want to keep it privado?
I guess my Instagram's is just Jonny_Binay, Binanay.
All right, cool.
Yep.
So we'll put your Instagram in the show notes, along with a couple of different ways to support our show. If you're interested, you bring our show's score to 74 guests who have stacked the sats, along with 7 who need a little bit more time, including most recently your freaking mom. Dadgummit!
I think for Auntie Lydia to decide to take the Bitcoin, it's gonna take like millions of years when everyone's using Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can keep working on her. Now, this is the part of the show where we ask you Satillionaires for your value in exchange for ours. What do we value? YouTube subscriptions. If you are among our first 100,000 subscribers, aka 99,999 plus 1, then we will enter you for your chance at 10 million sats, which is significantly more than the 48,000 that Jonny Boy stacked here on the show with us today.
Significantly.
At today's exchange rate, 10 million sats is $10,382. Now, Jonny, are you subscribed to Sat Chats?
Yes.
Are you for real, or are you going to rush to subscribe after the show's done?
I'm going to rush to subscribe.
He's going to rush to subscribe. Now, all Jonny has to do is subscribe, because he will certainly be among the first 100,000, because we only got about 1,300 subscribers right now. So come on in, and when we hit 100,000, you will be entered for your chance to win 10 million sats, okay? And by the time we pull that, it won't be 10,383. It's going to be a lot more than that. So smash the subscribe. We're also on the road to number 99 Kristen, so stay tuned for that, where I go up against my wife to see if she'll let me buy more Bitcoin.
And he will likely get wrecked like we did this morning.
Oh, I sure hope not, but I am starting.
Wrecked.
Yeah, my tummy's starting to hurt just thinking about that conversation. Couple of ways to support the show in the show notes. You can come on the show. You can zap us with your sats on the Lightning Network, or donate some Bitcoin on chain. And remember, Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our guests' views are their own. We'll see you tomorrow.
Go Pack.